Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 25th, and here we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see the sun rising, the high clouds moving across the area. You can see some smoke working its way up into Oregon from those California fires. You can see the low clouds burning off through the morning hours today. Most areas are clear, including even the Washington and Oregon coast now. And this weak system sliding down east of the Rockies here brought us some high clouds overnight last night. No threat to us today. You can see on here in the water vapor loop, the ridge amplifying and building along the northwest coast of North America. That is our heat wave. It is just about here. You can see the deep low pressure helping to amplify this ridge across the region here, and this is going to last through this week. We'll take a look at when this heat wave may end here coming up through this next weekend. Now, taking a look here, you can see the heat advisories for Puget Sound, much of the Willamette Valley. There's excessive heat warnings in effect, eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, southern Oregon, northern California. And if we zoom in here, you can see the excessive heat warning does include Portland and Salem. Some of these areas are going to flirt with 100 degrees for the next few days. So very hot coming up here. Checking out SeaTac yesterday, 84 degrees. We did overperform. I was expecting more towards the 82 degree mark. 79 is the average high. The record high for today is 94. We won't get there, but there is an outside chance we could hit 90 degrees today. Kind of a long shot, but tomorrow we may hit that all-time record daily high for July 26th. That is 92. We have a legit shot at that coming up. Now, taking a look here, I wanted to show you guys this hot, dry, windy. This just kind of shows you the combination of heat and winds, and it starts to show you that we are getting into some fire danger here. It starts to warm up, and you can see these westerlies coming through the Cascades here into eastern Washington later on this evening tonight. And then as we go through the afternoon heating tomorrow, these winds kick up through the gorge and through the east slopes of the Cascades here again. So we are entering some potential fire danger here. So watch out. All it takes is a spark for these really dry areas, especially east of the Cascades here. Kind of an interesting index here I thought I would point out to you guys. And you can see this repeat again here on and in through Wednesday. Check out some of these winds coming through here in pretty warm conditions. So checking this out, this is the HRRR 3KM. This is vertically integrated smoke, forest fires. Look at these fires burning through California. A lot of smoke out there. And look at this smoke roll up through here Tuesday morning. Now we're looking at, and you can see it start to encroach on the Portland area through Tuesday afternoon. Might enhance the sunset there. Let's hope the smoke is not too thick. But by Wednesday morning, it starts to make its way all the way up towards Seattle, engulfing the Oregon, Washington coast. Hopefully it thins out quite a bit. Maybe it just will enhance the sunset. There is a chance the smoke's going to be thick enough where it could take a couple degrees off these high temperatures too. So we'll be watching this forest fire smoke here. You can see it's mainly confined to southern Oregon right now, as we saw on the visible satellite, but this is going to be increasing as we go through the day today and then through tomorrow. Now taking a look at the GFS, you can see the ridge plainly in position here for our heat wave, our deep trough here over western Alaska. Now let's see what the extended is going to bring us here. Actually, let's make sure we're up to date. Yes, we are. The 12Z is running here. And you can see this ridge holding on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, still in position. You'll notice it starts to flatten out here a bit, though, and looks like a little bit of troughing coming on here through the weekend, probably bring some marine influence and finally put an end to our heat wave. And then as we go on in through next week, this GFS has kind of been bullish on this trough setting up over the Pacific Northwest, and then maybe even reinforcing itself on through the extended. But the heat wave will come to an end at some point this weekend here. We'll kind of try to work out these details as we get closer to this weekend. But first, we have several very hot days to go through. This is the European here, the ensemble mean. This was, let's actually back up to yesterday afternoons, which will go out a bit further. See that ridge plainly in position, giving us our heat wave. We go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You notice it start to give a more zonal flow here and flatten that ridge out and bring that troughing as we go on in through early to mid next week. So pretty good agreement there for the GFS and the European for much cooler conditions across Pacific Northwest next week. So we'll continue to monitor that and see what kind of details that will bring here as we get closer to next week. But we have a ways to go here, folks. We got a pretty significant heat wave to get through first. Checking out Tri-Cities GFS. Look at some of these temperatures, just incredible. Probably going to be flirting with 110. I don't think we're going to get to 115, but definitely 110 degree reading is not out of the question here through Friday, and still another very hot day on Saturday for the Tri-Cities there before you can see the trough come in here through early next week, and then maybe a bit of a bounce back through the following weekend here. Now looking at Seattle, Tacoma, look at the European has about, 85 today, and then into the 90s tomorrow. Looks like 94, 95, which would break the daily all-time record high there for SeaTac. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, even an outside chance of 5 straight days of 90-degree temperatures. That's why if we hit today for some reason and overperform, the European has been a little bit on the chilly side, and we got that 90-degree day, we could easily go 5 in a row here of 90-degree days across the Seattle area. Now checking out the GFS, look at it's painting at about 89 today, and it did pretty good with the temperatures yesterday. So maybe upper 80s isn't out of the question for SeaTac today. Then you can see plainly into the 90s, 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 days. So we'll have to monitor that. And GFS has been flirting with the upper 90s here, which is a really significant heat wave for Seattle. I mean, you're getting into some of the all-time best heat waves around the region, notwithstanding 2021, which is going to be the all-time greatest heat wave around here for quite some time. You can see Portland here, the European calling for 99, 100, 97, 94, 93. So just a pretty intense heat wave coming up here, especially for Portland, where they have the excessive heat warnings in effect. This is Portland GFS, pretty similar to the European actually, so probably upper 90s towards 100 degrees is a really good bet here, at least through Saturday for the Portland area and a lot of the Willamette Valley, including Salem. Now here we're looking at the NAM 3KM. I wanted to highlight this. Let's take a look at some of these winds here. This is 80-meter wind speed, kind of gives a good idea what the surface winds are doing. Through this morning, we had a little bit of an offshore flow here. You can see it coming out through across Puget Sound over southwest Washington from the northeast, and the north winds down through the Willamette Valley. You can see the Okanagan River Valley kind of going there. And as we go through Tuesday morning, look what happens here. The Fraser River outflow winds start going here, and that's going to hang on long enough to bring some really very warm temperatures here, downright hot for portions of Bellingham, Abbotsford, Sumas. And it depends on just how far these winds hang on. This offshore flow can really warm things up through the Bellingham area out here. So that's when they hit 100 degrees yesterday under these conditions, these outflow winds from the Fraser River Gap. You can see the Okanagan River Gap going on here. And there's another cold air conduit in the winter that's called the Purcell Trench. You can see the winds moving through the Purcell Trench out into eastern Washington here on Tuesday. North winds down through the Puget Sound, a bit of north wind down through the Willamette Valley, but then just kind of diurnal sea breeze activity after that with a little bit of an onshore component along the immediate Washington, Oregon coast where you can go to escape the heat. Now, checking out this is NAM 2KM. Let's look at the temperatures today. It's calling for mid-80s for Seattle. Look at this, up towards the low 90s for the Willamette Valley. Nice and hot. Eastern Washington probably punching some 100-degree temperatures today. And as we go through into Tuesday, check out some of these temperatures up again here by Bellingham, Abbotsford, Sumas. You can see mid-90s are possible with some of these offshore winds going here. Look at eastern Washington really starting to bake here on Tuesday, getting up over 100 degrees. Seattle is going to be over 90 degrees, probably challenging its all-time daily record high. Portland, upper 90s. And again, some relief along the immediate coastline there, so you know where to go to get away from that heat. And also this will exist for places like Whidbey Island, the San Juans, some of the islands around Vancouver Island, the Strait of Juan de Fuca. If you're on the immediate coastline there, you're going to be doing all right still as far as temperatures. But once you get inland a little bit, you're going to warm up rapidly. Now looking at Friday Harbor, you can see that reflected in these temperatures here, just into the 60s, really, maybe up towards 70 degrees, some areas on the island there. Quileute Airport, look at not too bad actually for Monday and Tuesday, getting up in the upper 70s. That's not bad for the Washington coast. But then you can kind of see that onshore flow take over as we go through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and more back down into the 70s, much more seasonable, even though some of these ensemble runs are showing a little bit on the warm side, but nothing too extreme, nothing like last year when Quileute hit 110 degrees in that extreme heat wave we had. You almost surely will not break that temperature in record in your lifetime out there. So yeah, another, these are going to be some glorious sunshiny days, but you're going to have to do, take some measures to beat the heat, especially in eastern portions. Portland, Salem are really going to be baking. Seattle's going to be downright hot for several days here. And we talked about that Tuesday. These offshore winds are going to really warm up the area towards Bellingham on Tuesday. So we'll see how hot we're going to get up there. But again, you want to beat the heat. You know where to go. Go to the islands. Go down to the coastline. Seattle, Washington, Portland will be a little bit better than the eastern portions. We're going to look to hit some 110-degree temperatures here, especially out here in the Columbia Basin. So I might go Dust Devil chasing tomorrow, so maybe I'll live stream it if we can get some good Dust Devil action. There'll probably be a lot of Dust Devils out there today. You can already see this. You can almost visualize the Dust Devils that are going to fire up here on the Go 17 satellite imagery, even though you can't really see them on the Go 17. But yeah, so we'll watch this forest fire smoke. We'll continue to watch these individual temperatures, see how warm Seattle gets today, and we'll try to pick out which models are performing best as far as this heat wave goes. But a pretty significant heat wave. We're on the doorstep of it, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Maybe. If I don't go Dust Devil chasing for sure, I'll do a video. If not, then I'll probably just do a live stream and try to do some Q&As, and we'll talk about the temperatures. Tell me what you're doing to beat the heat, and I'll talk to you tomorrow or the next day. So I'll see you guys later.